I did make I made an article. If I just go to my Twitter quick, it's pinned on my Twitter. So I write for Gposers and I make web articles doing like various guides for things, and I often use Chroma Key because I'm obsessed with it. I wrote one, how to make character reference sheets, right? Because a lot of people love to get drawings of their characters, and it's just a lot easier for the artist to have something to work with other than like some really dark, dingy photo in your free company where the lighting was really bad and you can't see anything. So I made this guide. You use Chroma Key, or you can just use the white screen that I showed earlier. You could easily just do it with the white screen and housing. I can link it here, sorry. And I'm also, here's my Twitter if you want to follow me. I made this. It's really simple. I just took a front shot, a back shot, one with my weapon unsheathed. I took a close-up of my weapon, and then I took some pictures of my face in different expressions. Yep, shameless plug. Well, it's my stream. I can plug it if I want. And then, because I love you all so much, I made this, you can download this, like you can literally just open it, you can save it, and you can just use the layout if you wanted to. You could like clip it over the circles if you wanted. You could just make a box in Photoshop. So what I'll do, here it is. And then I'll just do a quick demonstration how to do it. Gonna go to my free company where I just set up that studio earlier. Literally took 5 minutes, didn't it? Like, so quick. So I'll show you how to do it with just basic lighting without Chroma Key, because with this setup with the white screen, it's just easy, like super easy. So I'm gonna go into GPose. I'm gonna do what I did before. I'm gonna turn the camera for portrait. I'm gonna zoom that in. I'm gonna turn off that stupid noise effect. Just gonna add a light in. It's very red. So I've just got this photo, took a screenshot. I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna take a screenshot. I'm gonna turn it back around. I'm gonna get the book out. It's covering her face, so I'm just gonna change it to that. I'm gonna add the light, turn it. Screenshot. While the book is out, I'm gonna turn her to do this. So you can see it like that. Obviously, the astrologian one was quite easy to do because it's floating. And then the last thing we're gonna do face the front, go back into G pose, and we're just gonna do some expressions, some facial expressions. So we're going to the emote menu. We've got the straight face. This one we can zoom right in because it's just gonna be her face. So I've got that. I'm gonna choose a grin, or I'll do a big grin. Take a screenshot. I'm gonna do a sad one. And I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do an angry, annoyed one. Or actually, I'm gonna do that one. Mix it up a bit. So now we've got all the pictures. I'm just rotating them in my folder before I put them into... Right. So I've got the guide here. So I made a little circle. I don't know why it's not copying. Okay, I'm gonna have to drag it in. Right, let me try that again. Sorry, I thought I could copy paste from my file explorer, but I can't. So what I've just done, so I dragged it in and I set it to lighten so I can see over this circle, right? Then I'm gonna make a circle. I'm gonna go select, inverse. Oh, I have to rasterize it first. Doi. So, right. So what I did the circle. So it's gonna select everything in that circle. And then I did select and inverse. And deleted everything outside the circle. I'm gonna put it back to normal. And now there's a face of her there. And what I can now do, now that I have that circle, I can copy and paste it across so they're all the same size. I can copy these down to these, line them up, and then drag in my other expressions. So I've got this one here, and I'm gonna drag it so it's directly over the layer of the second circle, and I'm gonna do right click, create clipping mask. And what that does is that it will directly clip over the layer below. So if I draw a circle, only whatever is over that circle will appear, which is what I've just done. So if I turn that off, if I hide it, you can see the expression from before that I copied over. But now I've clipped it, I've got the new expression there. And I'm going to do that for these as well. I'm going to drag them in. I'm going to place it over here. And then I'm going to create clipping mask. And now it's over that circle that I've made. And for the final one, exactly the same again. I'm going to drag it in. I'm going to drag it the layer over the layer that I want it to be over. Right click and create clipping mask. And now I have, oh, I'm sorry. I'll show you again. So, where I've been dragging it over, I right click and it's this one here, clipping mask, because I've already clipped it. It's, telling me to release it. So I right click and create clipping mask. So that's all the expressions. I'm just going to put those into a folder so I can just keep it out the way. I like a tidy Photoshop. Thank you, Trog. Thank you, Jeremy. Weapon. Because I know where I want it to go, I could probably use this eyedropper tool, right, to pick up this color that I've got in the background. And I'm just going to make a rectangle and just select where it's this color. And then I'm going to use the paint bucket tool and just fill it. Oops. What you need to do before you do that, not do what I just did. I mean, you need to make a new layer and do that. So I've made a new layer over here. I'm going to drag a rectangle. And I'm going to use the paint bucket tool. And now it's not there. But it's still, the background is still there because you can hide it. Or I could just turn the transparency down so I still know where they are. I'm also going to do the same thing for this dark grey, just so at the end it's nice and tidy. I'm going to use eyedropper, get the colour, paint bucket and fill. Now I'm going to take the weapon, I'm going to drag it in, it will come on a new layer, just make sure it's over the other grey layers what you put in. I'm going to do a rectangle, I'm going to choose how much I want of it to be there, go on select, modify. No, sorry, it's select and inverse. So now it's selecting outside of that rectangle and I'm going to press delete. No, I'm not because I didn't rasterize it. You have to rasterize it. Photoshop kicks my ass every time. Now you're going to delete it. And if it's too big, you can just transform it, which is on edit and free transform, or you can just do the hotkeys Control and T and this window comes up and now you can resize it and it will automatically keep the ratio, and if you don't want to keep the ratio you hold down the shift button so it does this, but you want to keep the ratio and so you don't have to hold down anything and you can just put it over here and press enter. And then it's done. So that's the weapon done. You can line it up real nice if you want. Next is battle pose. I'm just going to resize it before I press enter. Whoa, this music is wild. What's going on? Hi, welcome to the stream. We're gonna rasterize the layer. I'm gonna do again the window tool. Select and inverse and then press delete. And then I'm just gonna move it wherever I want it to be. Yep. I'm good, thanks. How are you? We're doing some little Photoshop guides and things today. Oh, her eyes are not good. Why is she blinking? I'm just gonna try and make it the same size as the other one. Press enter, right click and rasterize. And then do the little window tool because she's a very tall girl. Select inverse, delete, and then move it. This is a custom size. One moment. It's based on this that I made. Which is based on this article that I made, which I will now link again. It's not based on any print because it's made for digital commissioning, but if it's something that people wanted, I could make like an A4 or A3 one. What about my Twitter? Good point. And the final one, just gonna drag the back in, resize it a little, press enter, rasterize it, make the little window, select and inverse and press delete. And now that was it. I can bring the opacity back on that grey to get rid of the dotted lines. And now we have a little character sheet. Obviously, it's not as neat as it could be because I just used the white screen. If you don't want to use G-Shade, you just want to take photos and do it quick, then you can just do this. But if you do use the chroma key, it will end up looking like this because all the pixels are transparent. So it's purely up to what you want to do.